Hello and welcome back to Whiskey Wars. Tonight we'll be crowning the best budget rye whiskey in this blind whiskey war. Let's get into it. Alright, so here are ryes for this evening. Now originally I'd only planned on putting 4 ryes in here, but Rittenhouse was so close in blind tastings that I figured I would throw it in here, and if it doesn't do well then that's fine. So we have a rye from Heaven Hill, we have a rye from MGP, we have a rye from Wild Turkey, a rye from Old Forester, and a rye from Jim Beam, which of course Knob Creek. So let's get these things poured and get into this whiskey war. Alright, so Glass E, we'll hold this up to the camera here. Glass E, Rittenhouse. As you notice folks, we are using different glasses since it is a new year. We've switched to the Libby's glasses, no more of the Glencairns. I hope you guys like the bigger glasses. I know I enjoy drinking out of them. That was, try and hold it up without spilling. That was Glass D, can we see that? Glass D is the High West Double Rye. Glass C will be Wild Turkey. Glass B will be Old Forester. And finally, Glass A is the Knob Creek. And again, forgot to hold up B, but there you go, Glass A. Now, if you have watched the lives, then you know the names that the community's come up with for this contraption right here. We call it the Drunken Susan, and it helps us mix up our whiskey. So let's give these things a spin, get them nice and drunk, and then we'll have no idea what's what. Have you kept track at home? I know I have not. Let's take them off our Drunken Susan and start drinking. Glass 1, heavy brown sugar. Nice caramel, kind of a cherry, citrus, quite a bit of char. All nice notes. I'm going to run through the noses fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and go to Glass 2. All right, nice cinnamon, cherry, little mint, some pepper, nice caramel note, some brown sugar. Very nice nose on Glass 2. Glass 3. Very light, kind of bubblegum note, little mint, hint of maybe a strawberry, maybe a raspberry in there as well. Very candy smelling. All right, Glass 3, nice nose but lighter. Glass 4, even lighter still. Not getting much there. So a little oakiness, a little caramel, a little brown sugar. Very slight hint of cinnamon. There is a slight char note. And just a very slight kind of sour oak and grassiness. Glass 5. Now already I know this has to be the High West Double Rye. It's such a distinct nose. I'm guessing Glass 5, hold me to that. Glass 5 must be High West Double Rye, which is of course the MGP product. So lots of spearmint, kind of green tea, some like spearmint gum, kind of bubblegum note. Definitely some anise. A little clove in there, some pepper. Yeah, all in all, not too bad. Definitely kind of reminds you of winter. Let's get back to Glass 1 and give it our first sip here. All right, so Glass 1 has got to be a very low rye. Lots of bourbon influence there for sure. So caramel, brown sugar, some nice kind of almost like a chocolate note, very nice toasted oak note. You are getting some rye spice, some cinnamon, some pepper. There is a very slight mint note in there as well. All in all, a nice first sip. Let's move on to Glass 2. Okay, so already Glass 1 significantly better than Glass 2. Glass 2 is just very, there's a general sweetness, a little caramel, little brown sugar, a little bit of a mint note, but it's very light. There's a little bit of anise in there, just hints of clove maybe. But all in all, the palate is just very light across the board. It is nice, but very light. All right, let's move on to Glass 3. Okay, so Glass 3 is definitely in a strong second place right now, maybe first. Got some nice cherry notes, a nice mint, a very sweet mint, little hints of green tea notes in there, a nice pepper note, a very nice, rich, kind of sweet cinnamon note there as well. And then as it goes into the finish, kind of some nice toasted oak notes, a little bit of char, lots of cinnamon showing through, lots of rye spice that I really enjoy. So Glass 3, very nice sip. Okay, let's move on to Glass 4. Well, we may have our winner. Whatever that is excellent. Just like a rich cinnamon and spearmint bubblegum. I don't know if that is a thing that exists, but lots of cinnamon, lots of spearmint, lots really nice sweet minty notes. There's a nice caramel, a nice brown sugar. Just the whole palate is very thick and full, very mouth coating. Whatever that is just great. Also some nice toasted oak notes, a little pepper in there. Let's move on to glass number 5. All right, so that is definitely the MGP, the High West Double Rye. That's such a distinct profile. You know it right away, and it's one of those that you either love or hate. Although I say that, and I'm kind of in between. What I do appreciate about it is that it's a very full-bodied rye. There's a lot going on as far as complexity. So you have to give it that, and for that reason, I do like it okay, but the notes you do get are not my favorite. You get kind of a licorice note. There's also kind of a weird green tea as well, and then lots of mint notes. And there's not a lot of the brown sugar, caramel, cinnamon, pepper, toasted oak notes that I really prefer. But if the notes I mentioned is things that you like, then you may like this more than me. That said, I still think it's better than Glass 2 and maybe even better than Glass 3. But I will do that off camera. So we're going to compare these off camera, and then we're going to come back with the results. Okay, and we are back with our results. So let's get to our first glass. This will be 1 to 5. So Glass 5, or 5th place, is A. And A is, well, that's kind of a surprise, Knob Creek. So as you saw when I was tasting it, unfortunately, I don't know if just more air got into the bottle or whatever the case, but something has really toned down this whiskey over time. Even though it's only been about a week and a half difference between the filming of this and when I did the live. Nonetheless, the palate was just kind of lackluster. The nose was also very light. So that was kind of disappointing because I really enjoyed it the first few times, but it seems like the more air gets into this bottle, the less exciting it becomes. So, with all that said, still 5th out of all the budget ryes. It's still not a bad placement, but it is what it is. Next, we got 4th, and that is D, if we can see that there. And D is, well, that's pretty much what I expected, High West Double Rye. So, if you like the notes that are in this, I think this is a very well-made rye. I don't really want to take a whole lot away from it. It's just that the flavor profile that High West has went after, which is really the MGP profile, is not really my thing. But if you like that, this is a very well-rounded rye. But you have to like the notes that are in it because it's a very specific profile. So with that said, let's move on to 3rd place, and that is Rittenhouse, Glass E. So, here we go. So Rittenhouse did redeem itself. When we did this on a live, it was kind of like Knob Creek was tonight. It had kind of lost something, but it seems like given a little more time, it's opened up a little more, some more flavors have come through, and it's a very nice sipping whiskey. Not first or second, and I think we know what those two are. So I'm going to guess, now that we know what 5th, 4th, and 3rd are, that this is Old Forester, and this is Wild Turkey, I would guess. So let's go ahead and see if that is true. So yes, B, yep, verifying. B is Old Forester Rye. And these two were very close, and actually really first through third were very close for me. And of course that means that first is Wild Turkey 101. So all three of these were very close, but Wild Turkey 101 is just an excellent rye. And something else to note is that the two most expensive ryes are down on this end. Both of these were right at the $30 price point, which was the cutoff for our budget rye battle. And this I think was 27. This is 23 or 24, and this was 25. So the cheaper ryes did well, even though it is only cheaper by a few bucks. So folks, if this review has been helpful, finding the best budget rye out there, I hope it helps you in your shopping. And if it has helped you, then please hit that like button. And if you want to see more reviews from me, you can click right here for more reviews. And if you're really enjoying the channel, then please subscribe right here. And until next time, folks, just remember, you can never have too much good whiskey.